Are you going through a lot of changes and letting go of the past, but finding it difficult to cope through the process? My name is Sunny, and I am with Sunny Healing Intuitions. And today I'm coming on to share a little bit about what's going on and just to kind of talk about the situation I am watching unfold in my life and how I've noticed it happening a lot with others. Because right now we are going through some planetary movements that we have not seen in our lifetime. And there's some big magic unfolding right now. There's not only the rising of consciousness within the collective, but also personally. And there's a few things that I wanted to talk about in order to bring clarity to others that may have psychic gifts opening up. Because that dark night of the soul is hard. It's hard. It's dark. It's lonely. You feel like you're going crazy. 111. It's really the letting go so you can become who you are truly meant to be and starting that new chapter. And a lot of us went through it in 2020. There's a lot of people who have been awakened since they were born. There's a lot of us who had to go through the trauma and lose who we were and find ourselves again through those lessons, because we're the ones who are the healers, the guides, the leaders who are going to help others who are now going through this process. And it's been quite a journey, I'll tell you that. When I first started my healing journey, it was after my dark night of the soul. I was drinking a ton to cope with the noise in my head. I had chronic pain. I also was going through what I did not know were contractions, because I've never had a child. Never wanted to have kids, even though I love them to death. I love their spirit and their playfulness and their true essence. Like, they embody who they truly are when they are, I want to say, like, before, the taintedness of it, of trauma, but I was going through so much pain, I could barely sleep. I was sleeping an hour at a time, maybe. I was getting naps here and there when I could, but my whole life I was living in victim mode because I felt like I was the victim of life. I had parents who were unforgiving as far as when I had emotions and thoughts and beliefs. I wasn't able to have a voice. I wasn't able to have feelings. And, when you go through that and then you're constantly being told that, like, oh, suck it up, things aren't that bad. Like, they just don't get it because they're living in their own suffering. And because it's so bad for them, they feel like, what you're going through is nothing. And it sucks, Sometimes we have friends like that because we've known them our whole lives, we feel like we need to keep them in our life. But that's bullshit. It's bullshit. Not everybody's meant to stay in our life. Everybody knows this saying. People are sometimes in our life for a reason, sometimes a season. And, like, people tend to forget that when, it comes to somebody who makes them feel unloved, depleted of energy, confused with the ideas that they were bringing forth, excited about something, and then they leave like they didn't feel fulfilled when they left. And that's how we should be feeling when we leave a friend's house. Fulfilled, happy, like we just, had the best time, like full of energy and, happiness. Like, that's how we should be feeling when we leave someone's house or when we have dinner with them or whatever, coffee date. And this goes along with family too. I have built my own foundation on letting go of the things that no longer serve me. And that means just about my entire family. I have 2 cousins that I am in contact with that are on my grandfather's brother's side. So their grandfather was the brother of my grandfather. And because they had a disagreement with the family business, they split up, which of course means that everyone on that side didn't really know our side. And me and my brother were so young because our parents were the youngest of all these kids. You know, the oldest was like 20 something years older. Our lives were affected and we didn't really know them. And I am closer than ever to my cousin, who I am about to go live with for a couple of months before I figure out my next destination, while I try to figure out this business and where I'm going with it. Because, you know, I do specialize in trauma healing. I have lived through trauma from the childhood, my whole life. I've had trauma in relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. Thankfully, I was never physically abused, but, you know, people want to say, you know, well, at least you didn't, you know, get physically hit. It's like, no, dude, like, I was in a place where I didn't think I was worthy of love. I didn't think that I was worthy of having a voice. I didn't think I was worthy of being successful. And those are things that I'm learning that I do deserve. It's our birthright. And all we're meant to do here is love. But unfortunately, we have a society that got all fucked up before we came in to this life. And that's what we're doing. We're raising the vibration. We're waking up so we can create a better world. So we can help others. Nobody has to suffer. You know, just because people are homeless doesn't mean that they're bad people. Most of them just want love and food and shelter just like the rest of us. But because society makes them look bad, and because, you know, they have to live in these tents, and, you know, I know that some of them are not good out there, you know, that's just the way of life. They were raised by people who were not good too. That's just how things are. Some people get stuck in it and some people rise above it. And I'm here to help others rise above it. That's why I share all this information for free on YouTube. Yes, it'd be great to have memberships once they hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. But until then, I'd rather at least share what I can so that I can help others. And also to make others know, or help them know, that they're not alone. We're all going through something, you know. I know right now I'm leaving this place that I did grow up around the South here. I'm not necessarily where I was when I was born and lived, but my family's here. My dad lives 15 minutes away. I haven't talked to him in over a year. And I have a lot of ties to this place. This is my safety net. And I'm leaving it. I left my job in November, and, you know, I've been pushing, not pushing, but like putting out things that, you know, like classes and whatnot, but it's not necessarily been successful. And that's okay, because I'm learning. I'm still growing. I'm still appreciating my journey. And even though things get hard, I know that I am still doing what I'm meant to do. I am still on the journey of healing and finding my own happiness. And I feel like things are about to expand in the biggest way possible for myself, for my business, for whoever it is that I touch in my life. And that's why I keep going. We just have to show up every day. Show up every day for ourselves. Do one thing in the day that brings us joy, that brings us happiness. And that's the magic. That is the magic. Playing, you know, outside like a child helps us to tap into that inner child that we tend to abandon because we have felt abandoned. We don't know how to show up for our inner child always. But when we spend time visiting our inner child through meditation, doing the same things we loved as a kid. You know, for me, it's roller skating. I love roller skating. I still feel like a child when I get on roller skates. And then when we can tap into that and show our child, our inner child, that we are safe, and allow at times for our inner teen to rage out. It's sacred rage. You don't have to hide from it. You don't have to be fearful of it. Just don't let it run you. People were cutting grass earlier, so I'm like really sniffly right now, but just like embrace the beauty and the magic instead of paying attention to the news and what's going on out there. Yes, it's ugly. Yes, things are happening, but we have to pay attention to what's happening in our life because that's what matters. And when we can build on things that we didn't think were possible, that's where the magic is created. Because we are meant to be so much more than what we are. But because society and our parents or our grandparents or teachers or whatever it is told us that that wasn't okay, you know, sit up straight, don't speak unless spoken to, don't take up space, sit there in the corner and be quiet. You know, they haven't taught us the fundamentals of becoming an adult, like simple things like budgeting, you know, how to parent yourself, like what are needs and necessities versus the things that you want, and how to, you know, balance that out. I mean, things like that we should have been taught, but we're not. Well, at least most of us aren't. I know I wasn't. And I'm learning. I'm reparenting myself. I'm doing that for myself. And at the same time, I'm also trying to tap into that joy, that magic, the childlike wonder within me. Because now that I've regulated my nervous system and I don't feel like I'm pushing and going out and look for a job because I'm fearful of not being safe and secure, you know, worried about where I'm going to live because I need all the things. I'm literally purging everything but my clothes and my metaphysical tools and my cats. Everything else is going. Everything else is being donated or thrown away or sold because I spend time and money on and energy on collecting some things, but it's all stuff. It's not going with me when I die. You know, no amount of money is going to make me happy. Sure, it'll bring some experiences, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be happy because I have got money. You know, what makes me happy is looking out in nature, spending time with the trees and the birds, going out and, you know, exploring where there's water, meeting people, or just trying to make someone's day with a compliment or a smile and a hi. Because sometimes when I'm on my walk to the coast, I notice that like when I come across people and I smile and say good morning, they're almost surprised that you said something, because most people are like, oh God, here comes somebody, you know, like, and I used to be that person. But I found that the more I smile and say hi, the more people are like, oh, you know, like, hey, good morning. I remember it was 2 days ago, or maybe, I don't remember what day, but it was just recently. This guy was walking and he was just, you know, doing his power walk. And a lot of people around, because we have a Navy base around here, a lot of people think I'm military, but I'm not. I used to love Sarah Jerry when I drank, and I do love nautical stuff, but like, he walked up and he's just like, I said, good morning. He's like, top of the morning to ya. And he laughed and I laughed. And it was just, I just remember like having a big smile on my face there, you know, throughout the walk. And I kept thinking about him saying that. And it just brought me so much joy, you know. And then today I went to the coast and I noticed a bald eagle flying above me. And then another moment I saw like a huge hawk, you know. And for me, those are my ancestors. And then when I was on the bridge about to come back over from the highway from the coast, I just decided to stop and just take it all in. And 2 pelicans, I love when pelicans fly because they usually soar right over the water, but they 2 looked over, saw me, started flying over, swooped right by me, and then went right back down to the water. And I was just like, oh, thank you for that gift. You know, I can't explain it, but it's just that feeling you get when you notice that stuff. Get out in nature. Take some time to regulate yourself. Stop doing, and forcing everything and thinking that you've got to do everything in one day. You are not running out of time. Of course, when you have something scheduled, that makes sense, but just stop performing. Do things for yourself, okay? As much as you can. Because what's going on out there, sure, it sucks. But you know what you can do? If you have a voice, go out there. If you don't and you feel like you should do something, look into what you can do for yourself and then send love out to those that are suffering. It works. It works. We're all healers. We all have that ability. We all hold magic in our hands. And the more that you can tap into that and believe it, the more you're going to see it. So while you're letting go of things, make sure that you're showing yourself love and allowing the emotions to flow. Because Venus is right now coming into Gemini, and it's beautiful. It's all about love and how we show up for ourselves in relationships. And feel into that. See what wants to awaken within you. It's a beautiful process. And if you ever have questions on how to do that, reach out to me. Get in the comments. Send me an email. I love hearing from you guys. And just know that we're all going through it. Nothing anybody else is going through is worse than the other. We're all going through something. And it's deeply personal to ourselves. Comparison is the thief of joy. And when you continue to compare yourselves to others, who cares if you're a certain size? Who cares if you have, I'm breaking out all over the place because I've been stressed out, but I don't care. I don't care. Who cares? We all get zits. I'm pretty sure I've got a booger in my nose, I'm not going to sit here and pick it, whatever. Just be yourself. Who fucking cares? Who said we have to look a certain way or be a certain size or put our hair a certain way or wear certain clothes? Why? Do what makes you happy. Be who you want to be. Unless you're an asshole. I kid, sort of. But, I just wish that, I can show everybody who, their true potential and the light within them. But I know eventually that'll happen with more people. Until then, I'm just going to share what comes up and let you all know that you are so loved. You are so magical. And you are meant to be here for a purpose. You bring so much light and love into people's lives. Okay? I want you to know that. So that's all I have today. I just felt like putting something out there and sending some love out. I put out a short that is offering grounding energy to clear or regulate the nervous system, bring calming energy and mental clarity. So check that out if you like. I also just did an ancestors message if you want to check out that, if you've been looking for messages from your ancestors or guides. And I don't know when I'll be on again, but I do know Sunday I am leaving and you'll see me in a new place soon. But I love you guys and take care.